What is going on, guys? Welcome to Grego's TV Daily Rewind, is where we go back a week and give you the past 7 days of tech news videos in one single video. And we had, I feel like, a pretty exciting week of tech news. We talked about a new ultra version of Galaxy Z Fold and Z Flip coming. That's right, ultra versions of both those phones. We talk about folding and tri-folding phones coming out from Samsung. We talk about Z Fold 5 and so much more. So enjoy this week, and we'll see you in the next one.
First story of the day has to do with the S23 phones. If you have the S23 phones, we're waiting for that big April update to hit America. It finally hit America here. I don't have the update. My buddy Ryder did. He is with T-Mobile, and he got the update. So make sure you check T-Mobile if you have the Galaxy S23 series of phone, and you should have gotten the big April update. It's over 900 megs, and it doesn't look like it adds, at least from their list of features that it did, which is really no list at all. It just seems like a big update, but it should add a lot of that functionality for the gallery app, such as the ability to take a person out of a photo, and save that as a separate image. So some cool stuff in there, as well as camera performance improvements. Check it out right now. See if you got it. The next story is absolutely frightening and way overkill, but I can see Apple potentially doing it. Looks like the next iPhone 15 Pro Max, per the rumors, this might not come true, but per the rumors, might have the most storage ever on a phone. This is absolutely crazy. Here it is. This is, I believe this is coming out of Weibo, the Chinese social media site, and Revengus is saying that the 15 Pro Max prices and rumors, first of all, 2 terabyte option for a phone, and it'll be priced at 2,908 American dollars, which is, who's gonna pay that to have 2 terabytes on a normal phone? I mean, somebody will, obviously, but why? That is insane. And who needs 2 terabytes, really? I know there's gonna be someone out there be like, oh my God, I need it. I need all this. I don't wanna do cloud storage. I don't wanna do that. It's absolutely insane. It would probably be very limited in the availability of it. What do you guys think? Do you think this is overkill? Next up is mostly about the Galaxy Z Flip 5, but there is also some of the Fold 5 news in there as well, and get ready to double up everything. So here we go, guys. This first tweet comes from Ross Young. Actually, all of these tweets are gonna come out for Ross Young for this story. Z Flip 5 and Fold 5, panel shipments start in May. Phone production starts in June. Now you might say, well, okay, starting in June, that means we're gonna get the release earlier. Well, someone does ask the question, does this mean that the release will be earlier than last year? He says no, similar timeline as last year, which, if you remember, was in August. So still expect the Z Flip 5 and Fold 5 to come out in August of 2023, which is just a few months away. He also says that the Z Flip 5 cover display is going to be bigger than everyone thought, and he is sure correct. He says that we are now hearing that the Z Flip 5 cover display will be an impressive 3.8 inches. That's literally double what we got with the Flip 4. The Flip 4 had a 1.9 inch cover display. It's now going all the way up to 3.8 inches, and remember, this is going to be what it's going to look like, that folder looking display, which I think is going to be very playful and fun overall when people get that in their hands. Next story has to do with the Google Pixel Fold. It is going to trump the Fold 4 and most likely the Fold 5 as well. It's looking like it's going to have the best display, not only on a foldable phone, but the best display on any phone. So this information is coming out of a Korean news site, but we're using the tweets from Revengus, who's saying that Samsung Electronics' upcoming foldable phone, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and Flip 5, are expected to use the same M12 material set as last year's Fold 4 and Flip 4. Aside from Apple, Samsung's display has developed a new material set, M13, for other customers, including Samsung Electronics, but it is not expected to apply it in this time. It is likely that Google's first foldable phone, which is expected to be released later this year, will use the M13 material set first. So that's right, Pixel Fold using the latest and greatest material for OLED displays created by Samsung. It's going to be better than what the iPhone gets. It's going to be better than what Samsung themselves uses. This is cool stuff. I'm already excited about this phone. This just adds, I always, when I get Pixel phones, one of the things that holds me back a little bit is like how bright the display is, or the display doesn't feel as great as a Samsung one, a regular Galaxy phone. This is just making my mouth salivate, because you look at the display more than anything, and you want a really beautiful, awesome display, and hopefully this will do that for them, giving them the best, newest technology that Samsung has to offer. Story of the day is a little bit of an update from yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the Galaxy Z Flip 5 having a 3.8-inch outside display. Now, it seems that information is a little bit incorrect, so here it is. So the information, again, was supposed to be 3.8. Originally, we heard 3.4. It sounds like, per Ice Universe, and Ross Young has also come back and reclaimed his information, said it was incorrect, and it is 3.4-inch outside display. Still much bigger than the 1.9-inch Z Flip 4 outside display, but 3.4 inches on the outside, 6.7 inches when you completely open it up, and it will weigh 187 grams. Fold 5 will have that 6.2-inch outside display and 7.6-inch inside display, same as what they've had forever basically now, and it'll weigh 254 grams, which is 9 grams less than the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which is nice. So it's gonna be thinner and lighter overall. I also want to add on to his other tweet that Ice Universe put out, and this kind of goes along with the video I put out earlier today, where I talked about really there's only 5 things to upgrade for with the Fold 5 over the Fold 4, and there is, and you can see from his tweet, there's almost no difference between the length, the width, the height of the Fold 5 and Fold 4. In this respect, Fold 5 is the smallest change in the Fold of past dynasties, but the biggest difference of Fold 5 is the water drop hinge. After it is closed, no gap, and you will feel it is thin. And again, that was one or two of the 5 things that I came up with on reasons you might want to upgrade to the Fold 5 from one of the other Fold phones. There's not a lot of meat in that bone right now. It's not seemingly super exciting of an upgrade, but I guess we'll see when we get it in hand. Next story is about the Galaxy Tab S9, S9 Plus, and S9 Ultra. There is a really nice upgrade that will match all these tablets across the board. Check this out. So this tweet's coming from Ross Young, who's saying that while the 11-inch Galaxy Tab S8 was LCD, the 11-inch Tab S9 will be OLED and will help boost OLED tablet market overall. So when the Tab 9 comes out, Tab S9, the S9, S9 Plus, and S9 Ultra will all be OLED displays, so you get those beautiful dark colors, rich colors. It's going to be amazing, and LCD will be a thing of the past with these tablets. So it's very cool to see this, that they're going to finally upgrade all the displays to be OLED overall. First story has to do with the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. As you may or may not know, the 15 Pro and Pro Max are supposed to not have traditional buttons. They're supposed to go to a kind of capacitive button that does everything for you, so you don't have these physical buttons on the sides of the phone. Well, looks like things are changing. So the information that's coming out is saying that that will not come true, and they will have traditional buttons. My latest survey indicates that due to unresolved technical issues before mass production, both high-end 15 Pro and Pro Max will abandon the closely watched solid-state button design and revert to the traditional physical button design. So it looks like Apple wasn't that ecstatic about that, capacitive, futuristic type button that did everything on the phone. So they're gonna, again, it's gonna look the same. Everything you wanted, everything you thought about this one is pretty much the same on the 15 Pro and Pro Max. Next up is about the Apple Airpods. Now, Apple has a new thing that is just coming out, and this is only in America, but if you have AirPods and you only have Windows and Android devices, you cannot update the firmware on the AirPods. Well, you now have a solution. That's right, here in the good old US of A, you can bring your AirPods into the Apple Store. All you gotta do is set up an appointment, and they will update your firmware or your firmware on your AirPod Pro 2nd and 1st generations, your regular AirPods 2nd and 3rd generation, AirPods Max, and AirPods 1st generation. This is great news. I love this. Usually the only way they update is with a mobile Apple iPhone, iPad device, and they update in the background. But bring them to the Apple store, set up an appointment, and they will update the firmware for you for any bug fixes and added features. Next up is about the storage and RAM amounts you can expect on the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra. I have the S8 Ultra, and I have the 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. But what are we gonna get on the S9 Ultra? Well, here it is, coming from Revengnus, saying that the S9 Ultra storage and RAM amounts will be 8, 12, and 16 gigs of RAM. They'll be LPDDR5X, and you can get it in storage amounts of 128, 256, or 512. If you want the best of the best, you got to get the 16 gig 512. That's what I have. That's what I will continue to get. And you can see that if you only get the 8 gig and 128 gigabytes of storage, you're only going to get UFS 3.1, meaning that the storage read-write speeds will be a little less than what they are in the UFS 4.0. Has to do with a phone that I am looking forward to because I really enjoyed this phone. It has to do with the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, what we can expect from the screen sizes, who's making the displays, and all of that. So here we go, guys. This information comes from Ross Young. Ross Young saying that per DSCC, that's the company he, I guess, works for, owns, new monthly OLED smartphone service, the Google Pixel 8 will have a 6.16-inch display, which is down from the 6.32-inch display of the Pixel 7. And the Pixel 8 Pro will have a 6.7-inch display, which is the same as the Pixel 7 Pro. Both start panel production in May. And he goes on to say another question out there, who's making the panel? He says Samsung. So they're going to use Samsung displays again on there. A couple of things I'm curious about is they're doing panel production in May. This phone usually comes out in October. Are they gonna push this phone out earlier or not? It remains to be seen. I'd be kind of surprised if they push it out earlier. But it's interesting also that they're making the smaller Pixel 8 even smaller now, so it's gonna be even smaller in your hand, which I think will make some people happy and give them that kind of premium feel on there. So some interesting things coming over from the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. I do hope when they use the display, I hope it's a higher display quality and brightness than the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. This felt like just a step down in terms of pixel quality and display quality versus like a traditional Samsung Galaxy S type device. Next up, as you can see from the headline, Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 5 and Flip 5 batteries are now going to be easier to replace. And with that first sentence, it kind of tells you that Samsung has followed the same path as the S23. The batteries have a pull strip to make them easier to replace. Now, when they say that, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm grabbing my Flip or my Fold and I'm going to peel something off and put the battery in. It's not going to be that easy for you. It just means like once you pop open the phone, which is a task, I guess, a little bit in itself, that at that point it's going to be easier to replace the battery. So if it took maybe a couple hours to replace a battery and something broken on a Z Flip or Z Fold, it might take even less time to do it now. And our last story is super interesting. Why? Because it goes through some devices that we have been scratching for, itching for, waiting for, but getting super stoked for, because it has to do with ultra versions of the Fold line and much more other folding devices as well. So here's the information. There's a tweet put out by RG Cloud who's saying that what he knows so far, new high ends will be the Z Flex, Z Fold Ultra, Z Flip Ultra, and the Z Tab, which are devices we've heard about, but we haven't really heard that much information in terms of like, is it actually going to happen or not? Also, future Fold Z Ultra will have 4K display from Samsung. The regular Z will be a QHD BOE display. That's very interesting. So 4K display on that new Z Ultra Fold. The Flip will have a 2K display with Samsung, and then the regular version will have the FHD 1080p BOE display. Z Flex will be the tri-fold displayed phone tablet. The Z Tab, which is going to be the foldable tablet, will just be a foldable tablet. They'll also have a new mid-end Galaxy K series. he's saying that it might remove the S Plus series, but I've heard they're not for 2024. And they're gonna have a new premium S, I guess better than the Ultra as well. And then in a separate tweet, he also goes on to say that all fancy things around foldable world are coming in late 2024, not this year. We just have too much sources going on and not so-called insiders that confused everything. Maybe it's intended. So a lot of these, if you've been wanting a Ultra version of the Fold and the Flip, it looks like they're coming in the end of 2024, at the earliest, maybe 2025. But I am very, very excited about that. That means you saw a 4K display in a fold phone. It's gonna be so awesome. I can't wait to see what they do with, maybe they'll finally give us the premium cameras we've been waiting for, and the premium display, and the premium everything in this phone. I'm very, very looking forward to this. Let me know. But this one's gonna be like a tips and tricks battery life preserving for the Galaxy S23 phones. Really any Galaxy phone, to be honest with you. And then also I got one question. So why don't I answer the question first? We'll kind of reverse things. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below, #question. Let's get to the Q&A first, and then I'll get to the video at hand. All right, our one and only question comes from Davian Farmer. How much do you think the trading value will be for the Tab S8 for the Tab S9 Ultra? Thinking about upgrading, kind of regret not getting the S8 Ultra. Ooh, I would guess probably $200 or $300, $400 at the most, but I don't think you'll get that. I think it'll be somewhere between $200 and $300. Let's jump into the official video at hand for this. This video, I'm gonna give you 7 tips on how to improve your battery life with your Galaxy S23 Ultra. And you know, most of these things, I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't recommend doing on a daily basis. This is really if you want to get the most amount of battery life for that specific day, or if you really wanted to, you could run this all the time. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. First, let's go into settings. And once you get into settings, you want to go down until you see battery and device care. Tap on that, then tap on battery. Go down until you see more battery settings. Go to where it says performance profile, choose light. This is going to prioritize battery life and cooling efficiency over processing speed. But when you game, it'll still do your best gaming. It's not gonna do light gaming, and you're gonna get better battery life with this. And you don't even have to hit save or anything, just hit the back button and you're good to go. Number 2 is also in settings. It's under display. Once you get into display, turn on dark mode at the top. It's gonna make your screen dark, but you're gonna get better battery life. OLED displays are better with power efficiency with a dark display. So, I mean, by turning the, black or dark, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to be like 17 hours of extra battery life. It'll, give you little increments of better battery life. Number 3 is also under the display settings, and you can see brightness. Change the brightness here to something lower, something all the way down, but ultimately you'll get much better battery life if it's on its lowest setting. And you probably can turn off adaptive brightness right here, and you'll get way, way better battery life because you have it all the way down here. As long as you can see it, you'll get, because that's really the screen brightness and the screen overall use a ton of battery life. Number 4, go under settings again, go under connections, and if you turn off Bluetooth and if you turn off Wi-Fi, you'll get better battery life, and just turn them on when you need them, and you don't have to worry about anything, and it'll just be 1 or 2 less radios that are always being used, that are always consuming battery, and you'll get some better battery life. Still under settings, go to display settings again, and you're gonna see motion smoothness. If you tap on that and go to standard, and then hit apply, that'll put you at 60 Hertz refresh rate. That will also give you better battery life. 120 Hertz does use a bit amount of battery, so as long as you're okay with not such, as smooth feeling of the phone and smoother scrolling, then you should be fine. But otherwise, you might want to keep it at 120, but still, this will help you with some battery life. Go back to settings, go back to connections, go into mobile networks. Now, I don't have the ability, but if you do, you should have a switch in here for 5G. If you don't need 5G or you don't have 5G where you are, turn it off. It's gonna help in your battery life big time. 5G uses a lot of battery life. The last one, also under settings, and then also again, under battery and device care, go into battery, and then you're gonna see power saving. If you tap on that and you turn this on, This is going to really, this will probably do the most out of anything that you could probably do on here. It turns off your always on display if you want it to. It will limit your CPU usage speed to 70%. It limits apps and home screens if you want. It just gives, it's going to be the best bang for your buck and the easiest thing to do when you turn it on and still give you better battery life.
We are, well, you can see I'm not in my studio, and if you watched my video, I think it was yesterday, which a lot of you didn't. Why didn't you watch my video? I talk about that I am in Santa Barbara with a bunch of other YouTubers where we rented out a house over here for a couple of days, few days, and we're just hanging out in Santa Barbara and enjoying ourselves, going to restaurants, walking around the city. It's a pretty small city for the most part, but it's really, really pretty out here. So we're checking it out and just hanging out. Potentially tomorrow's video will be back in the studio. If it's not, then definitely by Monday I will. But we had a very slow tech news day. Only one story today, and it has to do with the Galaxy S24 Ultra and an improvement coming to the camera lens that is going to, I think it's cool. And it has to do with the zoom. You know, the zoom on the S23 Ultra goes up to 100x. It was 100x on the S22 Ultra. Was it 120? I think it was 100x on 21 Ultra as well. Maybe 20 Ultra as well. I can't remember all the phones that went back to 100x, but we've had 100x for a while for sure. And it's going to be improved seemingly, potentially on the S24 Ultra. It's looking like it's going to go up to 150x. Now, that's cool. But when you factor in 100x, still kind of looks like a water painting at times. What is 150x going to, like, is 100x going to be much more improved, and then 150x will be the watercolor painting look to it now? That's my only question about it for the most part. Is 100x getting much more improved, and then 150x will be pretty good, but not like absolutely amazing? That's my major concern with it overall. But otherwise, I think it's potentially another selling point. That's, you if you think about how far and clear like 100x is, like how you can make something out at the very least, 150x is going to be absolutely insane if it ends up coming out to be true about that S24 Ultra.
First story of the day is about some Samsung Galaxy Buds that are coming out, and they might be coming out really, really soon. So here's the information. It says, this is from Chun, who's saying that the Galaxy Buds 3 are coming soon. And when someone asked, are these going to be the Lives or the Galaxy Buds 3? He said, apparently the bean design has been dropped, so yeah, no Lives. And then also, and someone asked, are they going to come out in August? He said maybe, but they are deciding whether it will be released at Unpacked or not. My guess would be, if they're going to release these, it's going to be a couple of weeks or a few weeks before Unpacked or at Unpacked, but expect them to be readily available definitely by Unpacked is my guess on there. What they could add to it, I don't know. It's like they release these almost, they release every year, right? They're coming out basically, and they sound pretty good. It could always be improved, but I mean, it's like, what else are they gonna add that's gonna make people really, really want to keep buying these year over year? That's my guess on it, but maybe we'll see a fun new design or not. What do you want in your Galaxy Buds 3? Not these aren't pros, remember, so it'll be a little lesser in that regard, but let me know what you want to see in the Buds 3s. Next up is about a folding phone and a flip phone from Vivo. It's coming out very soon. April 20th will be the launch of these phones in China. I'm not sure if it will come out everywhere else, but you'll definitely be able to import it at the very least. And the information that's coming out, we got a bunch of specs on these. We've kind of gone through some of the Fold 2 specs before, but let's kind of go through this again. Flip, first off, is going to be their flip phone, a rival to the Galaxy Z Flip 4. You can see it's got the outside display on there, big camera at the top, Vivo branding at the bottom. The specs will be a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, so it's last year's processor, the same one that's in the Z Fold 4. It'll have a 4400 milliamp battery with 44 watt wired charging, 6.74 21:9 aspect ratio AMOLED 120 Hertz display with HDR10 plus, so display is going to be a pretty good size. 3-inch outside display, which is awesome. The 50 megapixel camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 32 megapixel up front. Those are all basically better than what you get for the most part, at least number wise, versus the Z Flip 4. And it'll be better than the Z Flip 5 actually too. On-screen fingerprints sensor, I actually prefer it on the side, but It's going to be under the screen. 200 grams in weight. What about that X Fold 2? What is that going to have? It's going to have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which is the latest processor from Snapdragon. 4,800 milliamp battery, 120 watt wired charging, super fast charging. It's crazy fast. It's going to charge like in no time. 50 watts of wireless charging. Again, absolutely amazing fast wireless charging. 8.03 display, 6.53 inch outside display, HDR10 plus with 120 hertz on that display. Cameras will be 50 megapixels, 12 and 12, and you'll have a 16 megapixel front. So these cameras, at least the megapixels, are a little bit less in some regards to the flip phone, which is kind of funny. On-screen fingerprint sensor, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'd rather have it on the power button, but who am I? And 6.7 millimeters when unfolded. That's to be how thick it is, and 280 grams in weight. So we'll just have to wait a little bit. April 20th is this week. So like 4 days away, 3-4 days away before we'll know all about that device. Your question of the day, I kind of already asked it, but what do you want to see in the Galaxy Buds 3? Let me know in the comments down below. Without further ado, let's jump into our Q&A. Our reactions is saying if they introduce the new camera, therefore reducing the number of cameras on the Ultra, do you think the next generation of the Fold 6 will finally have the same camera system as the Ultra? I'm not sure. I mean, there's talks about them obviously improving things on the camera side. So I would say with the Fold 6, I would think the Fold 6 Ultra would have the same cameras as a regular Ultra phone, like the 25 Ultra or whatever it is at that point. But will the regular Fold 6 have it? Probably not. And our last question from Carabay. And it says, Greg, question for you. Which case is that? How grippy is the case? I was doing a video with my Galaxy Z Fold. My original just plain clear case, which is the same exact one as this one. This one has sparkles though. The thing ended up breaking off actually. I don't know why. It didn't happen last year with the Fold 3. But I love this case. It's clear and it's very, very comfortable. It's a little bit bulky. But it's all one piece, which I absolutely love. Does not give hinge protection. I would definitely recommend this case though. It's really, really protective on there. And then you asked if it's grippy. I mean, I have a pop socket on there. I mean, a love handle on there, so it's easy to hold. But I don't know, it's not too bad in terms of slipperiness. But I love it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. And Spec makes it. Spec. Just go to their Spec, S-P-E-C-K, and you'll find it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below with the hashtag question, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.